Now that I have your attention, it's time to get serious and compare the two camp systems. We will compare the camps on 4 categories, these being their living conditions, sanitation and food, the treatment by the oppressors in the camp, the rights and freedoms of the interned, and the mortality rate and the lasting impact of the camps. These will be general summaries of the camp and is not the same for every camp. Each camp is different in certain ways. Starting off with living conditions, the Japanese were forced to live in poorly constructed tar paper barracks that provided little coverage from outside forces, mainly hot or cold temperatures. The barrack would also have multiple families crammed into a single room. Along with this, the sanitation in American camps was very poor and led to many Japanese dying from tuberculosis.
The interned were provided military-style food that wasn't great, but it was enough to keep them from starving. Similarly, the Nazis also had poorly built barracks that would have been also crammed.
Sanitation was way worse than the American camps, with toilets just being holes in the ground and many people sleeping around lice.
The food in the Nazi camps was also very bad, being very small rations of bread and soup, leading to rampant starvation.
To summarize living conditions, both camps had poor housing that provided very little protection against weather and were very cramped. American sanitation was better than the Germans, who suffered many disease outbreaks, mainly cholera. German camps also used a lack of food to kill, while American camps gave enough food to prevent starvation, showing the difference in intent of the camps.
Next up, occupant treatment. Starting off with the Germans, they ran their camp through fear, and they did this through public beatings and shooting people on the spot. They also used forced labor to provide for the war effort and did many medical tests on people, famously by Joseph Mengele. It is these characteristics that create the horror of the Holocaust. In the American camps, there were some unjust deaths, but besides that, the camps were mainly peaceful. A great example of this was in Manzanar, where a riot happened and soldiers could have shot at the Japanese, but they didn't, and only 2 died in the end. The occupant treatment is what makes the two camps unique, as the German camps had beatings, forced labor, and constant death, while the American camps had nothing like this. In the American camps, the guards were there to keep you safe, while in the German camps, they were there to do the opposite. Hey, wake up! Just pay attention for a few more minutes now. Okay? Thank you.
Moving along to rights in the camp, the Japanese were placed in them involuntarily, and they did manage to get a case to the Supreme Court, who did rule that the American government can intern people in times of emergency. However, in these camps they did have some rights,
Which included the ability to build schools, form newspapers, create recreational games, and plant gardens. Along with the ability to do these things, the Japanese could work jobs that provided a subpar but helpful wage.
Overall, the Japanese managed to form a community in the camp, something not possible in the German camps, where the rule of the day was follow orders or be shot. In comparison, both camps did detain people without trial or due process. However, the Japanese had many freedoms in the camps and were able to foster a community. There were no rights for anyone in the German camps. It was either you do as you're told or death.
The mortality rate in the American camps was only 1.6%. However, it was the looting of Japanese homes while they were gone that caused lasting impact. Although in the 1980s, they would get some reparations to help pay for the damages. The Jews lost everything when they came back, and the camps themselves killed 6 million people, which was about a 55% mortality rate. It was these horrors that Germany inflicted that led to the creation of Israel as a country, and the United Nations creating a Declaration of Human Rights. Both camps led to their occupants losing much of their life. However, the Japanese were able to recover much easier, as the Jews were physically scarred and mentally scarred for the rest of their life.